Okay, yeah, this is the Infinite Ambition Podcast. Recognize your limitless worth, damn it. Today is a very, very special episode today. Very special. And why not commemorate my 20th episode with probably, I say a special guest all the time, but this time is probably the most special guest I've had and probably ever will have, because today, guest of the Infinite Ambition Podcast is none other than the lady you see all the time in my pictures, the lady I talk about all the time, the one you see me with here and there, my fiance, Miss Abigail Owen. Welcome.
Thank you. How's it going, everybody?
Yo, this is a long time coming. We talked about this for a long time. And I apologize for the delay in this podcast. I've had a lot of technical difficulties, equipment malfunctions and whatnot. Plus, with us, with moving from Crested Butte to Durango, Colorado, a few more hours south, setting up, getting settled, now we're finally back at it again, getting this next episode in, and so much to dive into with this young lady right here, so much. Some of you know her, a lot of you don't, but if you didn't know, you will, then you will know now, because this young lady has a very, very rich history, a lot to talk about here. I don't even know where to begin. I really don't know where to begin. So let's just start from the beginning. So we're gonna get into some of the juicy stuff that people want to hear about that you may have heard before, but later. But we're getting to. I love the backstories. This podcast has a lot to do with people's backstories and what we like to talk about, where creative inspiration comes from, getting to know somebody, getting the public to know the person more of why they do what they do and how they do it. So one thing I want to get into is what some people may know a lot about you is your dance history. Yes, we'll start with that.
That's a long history.
Yeah, well, we got time and we got recording space, so let's get into it, baby. Let's get into it.
Let's see. Well, if you really want to start way back, when my mother bought me a pair of cap shoes when I was 1 or 2 years old, because I was going around the house stomping my feet all the time and dancing around, and whenever she put like Mariah Carey on, and I just was dancing, and so she was like, okay, you need to get her some dance shoes. So she got me some tap shoes, and I ran around the house.
She saw something in you
all
early.
the time.
Yep.
And so then when I was 3 years old, she enrolled me in dance classes and started going ever since. I started off, of course, 3 years old, tap and ballet intro classes, and then I wound up always being like in the age group a year ahead of myself. I was never with my own age group. I was always a year ahead with everybody else.
So you was advanced early already.
Well, I don't know how it worked out that way, and so
it's because you was tapping as you was learning how to walk at the same time. It's like people learning how to ski and snowboard before they learn how to walk. They can probably do that better than they can walk sometimes.
And so
that's how you got so good at it.
Added more classes, and by the time I was 7 years old, I joined our local dance team. I grew up here in Durango.
Right.
People know that. So we just moved back to my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
So grew up dancing here in Durango, and when I was 7, joined what was at the time the Rocky Mountain Rockettes dance team at Dance and Rockies dance studio here in town, which ironically is right next to where we're living now, our new apartment, which is right over there.
Yep.
And so I did a little bit of everything all throughout high school: jazz, tap, ballet, lyrical, modern, contemporary, musical theater. And so I competed for 11 years all through high school. But when I was about 13 or so, I discovered that my true passion was tap dance. And so had a couple other friends that really enjoyed tap dance too. And we had tap at our studio, but it wasn't like anything really intense and so we started going to conventions together and traveling all over the United States just to learn from some professional tap dancers and the great tap dancers that basically started tap dance back in the early 1900s, the ones that were still alive, and it was just a great experience. So I was able to take what I learned from those conventions and bring it back to little old Durango, and started teaching classes at my studio as well when I was like a sophomore in high school.
So who were some of the dancers from back then that really inspired you at that time?
See, a few that I had classes with one was Ernest Brownie Brown. He was probably like, I think, early mid-90s when I took class with him. And his infamous chair dance that he did with his partner way back when. And so he had kind of like a protege that really taught it, but he was there, and so we got to learn that.
Right.
And that was in Chicago at the Human Rhythm Project Festival. That was really fun. Let's see. Oh, what is his name? I can only think of his nickname, which was Stumpy. It will come back to me in a minute, but he was always in LA. He was in his 90s too, and that's the fun thing about tap dance is like you can do it forever.
Right. Yeah.
But let's see. In today's professionals, Jason Samuel Smith, Chloe Arnold, Denisha somebody Edwards, so many greats. And it was just a great experience, and they're all just super down to earth, fun.
That's cool.
And
That's
I don't
cool.
know, I think what is true, a lot of dance has this stigmatism of, you know, being cocky,
A little snobby, uptight.
Right, especially like, you know, ballet modern, which can be true, but tap dancers, like true professional tap dancers, are not that way at all.
Yeah.
They just like to have fun and like, so really support each other. They're total goofballs, even on stage. Because
I could tell.
Some of the conventions, they would have like a faculty show at the end.
Right.
And they were just hilarious and awesome. And anytime, anywhere, there will be like
it seems
just a group getting together, just having a jam session, and anybody can come in, and it doesn't matter what level you are or how much you know. If you just relax and just go with it, they'll support you.
I've seen quite a few of those, like videos of those, or whether it be like in movies or TV shows or just documentaries or just videos on the internet of, like you said, those dance jam sessions. And it seems like a more relaxed, free form flow of dance. I don't want to say competition, but just a group fun, you know, like the same thing with like crump dancers, break dancing, and stuff like that. Is a lot of freestyle involved in that, where it's less tense.
Yeah.
Is more of a free spirited style. When did you know that you fell in love with it? And was there a defining moment that made you say, "This is what I want to do. This is it's going to be a part of me forever"?
I think it was when I went to my very first tap convention, which was at BYU in Utah.
Okay.
And my friend Claire and Carly went with our moms, and that was my first experience like tap dance besides dance competitions or Durango outside, and realized there's this whole other world. And when I was able to join my friend Claire and we actually wound up taking some advanced tap classes when I was 13. Shout out
Claire and Khari.
And so, just because I grew up there's two forms of tap dance. There's like rhythm, huffing tap dance, and then there's like the classical like Rockette type tap dance.
Explain the Rockette for those who don't know, because I'm not really clear on that one either.
It's like you're up on the balls of your feet on your toes the whole time. A lot of times it's almost kind of like Irish step dancing, like your upper body is very direct and straight up, and a lot of times arms are choreographed, and it's just very up on your toes and just not as grounded, or a lot of syncopated rhythms. It's not like that. It's like time steps.
So what birthed what? Did that birth Riverdance, or did Riverdance birth that?
Riverdance started because tap dance in general is a combination of Irish step dancing and African dancing.
That makes a lot of sense.
And so
that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
And so it started in New York because you had freed African slaves, but they were still in really low economic, like they were living in Harlem and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so were the Irish, because they were basically on the bottom as well.
This is before Black Wall Street.
Right. And so Irish immigrants came over, and they were the same way. They were servants and basically servant too. And so they got together and combine
just
their two dances.
Created magic.
And so before actual like metal taps and stuff, they either just tapped with their shoes, or if they didn't have shoes, a lot of kids didn't have shoes, so they put bottle caps between their toes, or nail them to the bottom of their shoes.
Yep, they do that.
Or that's where like soft shoe came with the sand.
Okay, so I was going to ask you that too, where that soft shoe came from. All right.
So same, they were just trying to find whatever they can to make those sounds.
Yep.
And so that's how tap dance originated. And so the hoofing is what really started. It was that syncopated rhythms, just really low to the ground, not really choreographed upper body. And then it was Bilbo Jangles Robinson that came in.
There you go.
And he was the one that had more of the upright, stayed on the balls of your feet the whole time. And just, I mean, his heels would come down, but he was mostly up there the whole time. Also trying to make his movements so small so no one else would steal his steps, because that was also a big thing. Everybody, like at the big tap jams and stuff in the clubs or whatever underground, they would always try to steal each other's steps, and that's still a thing today. But he would have these tap battles, and he would just make his moves so small and so minute that no one would know what he was doing, and so fast. And so I think that's kind of how classical tap dance kind of originated, was from him and Irish step dancing, and then also just all the musicals and showbiz. They wanted the bigger arms, flashy, choreographed, like Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly.
Yeah, it's a lot of,
which also they could hoof too. Really.
It's a lot of history right here, man. A lot of game right here. So that's why I'm learning something too today. And the thing that's beautiful is some of the greatest art forms, not just in music but in entertainment period, came from the lowest of humble beginnings, which means came from not having much of anything, or not having the resources to do things that you wanted to do on a bigger level, starting out with almost nothing and creating something from nothing. One of my favorite hip hop documentaries I watched a million times was called The Art of Rap, From Nothing to Something. And just like with that, you start with just being just raw creativity, and combine that together with other mediums, and you just create. It spawns into something magical over time. It just keeps bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's just beautiful. It's something that's very inspiring to me all the time. So, with that being said, those of you who may have met Abby in the last 3 or 4 years, some of you haven't seen her until the dance show that was in Crested Butte, the dance hosted by the Crested Butte Dance Collective called Move the Butte, where not only did she perform in the show, but she choreographed quite a bit. Man, so let's talk about that right now, because I want to get into that, details, what you was thinking through the whole process when you first heard about it, how you heard about it, and then the piece that you choreographed and the parts that you was involved in. Because you was a part of history. You was part of the 10th anniversary show. Your first and only show of there, and you was part of the 10th anniversary show, and that was one of the biggest shows.
It was exciting.
That was, oh my God, it was so much fun. That was my favorite show. Yes, I have a bias because my lady was in that one. But it's just because everything that was involved, but that was the main reason why that was my favorite show. But
the main reason, I guess, why I was in it was because of you. The night we met was you were in the Move the Butte show the year before, and that's the year that we actually met, or the night we actually met. You just got done with the show. Right. And that's one of the things we were taught. The main conversations we first had was talking about our dance history. You're like, yeah, I'm in Move the Butte. And I'm like, you dance? It was just this ongoing conversation, and so I didn't think it was going to be up there. I didn't think I was going to live in Gunnison for a whole nother year. And so once this time last year came around, and I still didn't have any plans. I was looking for a job and trying to decide what I was going to do with my life. And you're like, well, if you're still around, you should do Move the Butte. Well, that would be fun, because I moved to Gunnison in fall of 2016, and I actually hadn't done any dancing since I moved out there. First time in my life. It was 2 years, and I was starting to really miss it. And like, okay, that would be fun to do, but But what if I go and I move and get a job or whatever? I was super worried about that.
And we're going to get into your whole college life history later on too after this segment.
Anyway, so I was very excited to be a part of Move With You and knew I had to choreograph a tap piece because that's just what I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had an opening casting call for people who are choreographers or who wanted to choreograph, not just perform, but wanted to do that. And I was like, shit, my girl could do it. She's done it before. She has skills. She has a history. So I told you. That's why I whispered in your ear, like, might want to try it. Give it a try. So went to a meeting and.
Yeah, and at that meeting, I had no idea what I was going to do, and then they were asking everybody what they were planning. So I just thought of a piece that I did my senior year of high school that I choreographed, and it was an a cappella tap piece, which a lot of people don't do, especially out here. So I just said it, and then I'm like, oh crap, now I got to really
I got to live up to it now.
And then, like, I don't know what the dance community is like out here, or at least tap-wise, what everybody's skill level is, So I was like, well, we'll try a cappella, see what happens. And everybody's like, oh, that's so cool. We've never seen that. Okay, make this work.
That's the cool thing about the CBDC, that they'll accept all levels, even people with no experience at all. Yeah. They'll find pieces for you to be in because they have choreographers of all levels and people who aren't choreographers who just had a cool idea and want to put it to some music, and with people who consult and would help them do it. So that's the cool thing about the Crested Butte Dance Collective, is they give everybody opportunity, and there's really no judgment because it's community dance, which means most of them aren't professionals. It's just people from the community who love performing or want to try to perform, just like having fun with it. And the people that come out to watch, the audience, they support that because they know it's just everyday people that you hang out with mostly, not really too many superstars, whatever. So
anyway, yeah, they seem to be pretty excited about that. And then I think our first rehearsal with the girls that decided to be in it, that I think I kind of scared them or intimidated them. And I actually lost a couple, but
that happens with a lot of pieces.
Just because with the acapella, and I mean, it's not easy because you are the music, and so you're the ones that you have to stay on tempo. You have to make all the sounds because people can hear if you're not making them or not. And it's a
good thing you didn't know he was going to be the opening piece too. Opening act.
Yeah, didn't know at that moment.
So if you did that at the beginning, it probably would have put extra pressure on you guys and made it tougher. So
anyway, and I mean, we only had 2 months to rehearse before the show, so it's not a lot of time, and especially for people that have never done an a cappella tap piece before.
Right.
And I like the more rhythm hoofing type of tap, and so most of those girls were just trained in classical, and so just trying to work on getting them grounded and doing syncopated rhythms, which they did an amazing job. I'm so proud of the girls.
Yes.
And so anyway, but I'm like, okay, we need some. I don't want like full on music.
Almost like starting from scratch as far as their skill level.
And so and all different levels too, but they killed it. I'm so proud of them. Putting up with me. But at first rehearsal, I was like, okay, we're rehearsing every Sunday for 2 hours.
Yep.
And having a bunch of additional rehearsals during the week, and they're like, who is this girl? Like, what?
Just burst on the scene out of nowhere.
We don't have time for this, but 5 girls did stick with it, and then they were so happy that I had all that rehearsal time after all.
I was mad. That was beautiful.
Because I think I scared a couple away just because of our rehearsal schedule, because I had 2-hour blocks on Sundays.
Right.
And then I had 3 times during the week that I said, if you want to come and just practice whatever,
right,
you could come in and I'll be there. So they're all like, what in the world? But we used all that rehearsal time.
Yeah, y'all worked your asses off. Y'all did.
Anyway, so I knew we needed some type of music or beat or something to keep us on tempo and remind everybody like what part we're at and whatnot. So I was trying to find, I spent I don't know how many hours trying to find songs and music that would work, but I wouldn't find like the exact rhythm I wanted, or I had already taught some pieces of choreography, and just finding the songs to match that rhythm wasn't really working out. And so I was like, okay, Khari, are you willing to help me out with this? Mm-hmm. And so he made the music for our piece, and it was wonderful, and so it turned out really well, and we worked hours on it as well.
Yeah.
And I would tap out the beat of or the rhythm that I was doing, and then he would try to match that.
That was a fun creative process.
It was fun. And then, because you made that original piano song before you even heard anything, and it just turned out to be perfect. But then I came back and was like, well, it's too much. We had to break it back apart. And
basically trying to figure out like a simple backbeat, like some kind of ambionic melody that would tease every once in a while. Or like you said, something that would keep the pace and the tempo.
Yeah, but it didn't overpower the tap.
Right. Give the actual tap more body and more feel for the venue, for the sound, the acoustics in the room, where it's going to sound.
Yeah, the floor wasn't mic'd either.
Right. Yes, that was a big part of it. Because
and that's the big thing about tap dance, especially in music. It's a lot of times unless the floor is mic'd or you have a wooden floor,
right,
you don't ever hear.
Right. And that stage was wood, but it wasn't like hardwood.
No,
it was
when it had that like painted.
Yeah, it makes a softer sound. Yeah. And what else did you do in the show? Because you done quite a few other nice ones.
So that was my tap piece, and it wound up just by chance being the opener for the entire show. So all my girls were like, "What? Not only are we doing this acapella really hard tap piece, but we have to start the show." But it worked out really well. It was awesome. And then what else did I do? I was in like a jazz musical theater piece to the song Fever. I know that's Khari's favorite one. Kind of I don't want to say like full on like sexy, but it's more of like a,
to me it was
like a sexy teasy kind of, not like compared to some of the other pieces.
Boy shorts and long button-up shirts. Yes. Killed it.
And then I was in a Missy Elliott hip-hop piece.
That one looked fun.
Yeah, it was a fun time with our blue lipstick and everything, and shiny silver shorts.
Yep. And y'all can find all these on YouTube also. Just type in Move the Beauty 2019. It's all there. All the pieces individual videos are all there.
And then the last piece I was in was like a contemporary lyrical aerial piece. So we had some girls that were on the silks doing aerial moves.
Yeah, the James Bond one.
Yeah. Skyfall. And then the ground dancers. So I was one of the ground dancers. And then we actually
one of the Bond girls.
We actually had a Bond too.
That was cool.
Zach, and he did a great job. It was a good time. It was a good show.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was so proud of her. Every time I saw her on stage during the sorry, I keep going in and out, speaking in third person and first person. Like you're here, then you're not here. It's like I'm talking to an audience and talking to you. So forgive me if it sounds like I'm talking to somebody else, then you at the same back and forth. But yeah, well, seeing you on stage during the showings, which is you show the company what your pieces are before the show dates.
Rehearsals, like dress rehearsals.
Exactly, like live dress rehearsals for like the cast members and a few people in the community who work at the Center for the Arts. Yeah, every time I saw her on stage, I was just like, mouth was open, googly eye, like, wow, this is really happening. This is crazy. She's so beautiful on stage, and it's very.
He's biased.
Yeah, I am. I'm not gonna lie, I was. Still am. Because she's just good at it. Like, if it wasn't that good at it, I probably wouldn't be as biased. I would be supportive. I'm like, okay, critical. I ain't critical at all because you killed everything you did up there. It made it look easy. Like those other girls that was coming to me all the time, telling me how beautiful I thought you was, how good you was moving. Like you must be so proud. I'm like, yeah, I am. Trying not to brag so much when they was telling me about you, but yeah, I was, and that's just like the tip of the iceberg as far as your creativity goes. Because I've seen so much from you in this past year and a half plus we've been together, and not only that, but just like the whole artsy side of you. Period. It's just been coming out a lot more and more all the time, and that's a beautiful thing because that inspires me a lot. It inspired me a lot to get back on my artsy side, whether it be manual art, painting, graphics, photography, all kind of stuff like that. Things I've always been interested in my whole life and been good at, but kind of put off to the side a little bit because maybe I felt underappreciated, or I didn't feel like it was doing anything for me, or I put music at the forefront of it so much that I forgot about the other side. Abby's been a great inspiration. It's helping me remembering that still to use your God-given talent for something. It'll be useful for something, whether it's not always about making money, but it's a lot more about self-therapeutic or making somebody else happy or helping out, period. It just works. It's a beautiful thing. And I've seen a lot of that. I got the chance to learn a little bit more about that when I visited you and your way in Durango way before I even moved out here. Had a chance to move out here. I got a chance to see all that and got a taste of Abby's background as a Wildcat. Wildcat. I mean, I've heard so many stories out there. Purple and gray silver attack. Let's go.
Oh, cats. Oh, goodness. Where to start?
Ohio State Buckeye is now also a fan of the Wildcats now. The team that was an underdog in my eyes I didn't really know much about until I met Abby, so.
They are the underdogs, but they do a pretty good job. They just beat OU. Woo!
Ring the bell. Cue the air horn. So how'd you end up at K-State? What made you choose that college?
Oh boy.
Because I know you had some other options out there.
Oh yeah.
That brain of yours is like everybody wanted a piece of that. So I know how'd you settle on K-State?
Well, originally when I started looking at colleges in high school, well, first I wanted to major in dance because I was like, there's nothing else I want to do. Mm-hmm. What else am I going to do in my life? Dance is my life. I've been dancing since I was 3 years old, and all throughout high school I danced 20 plus hours a week. That's all I knew. Dance and ranching, that's all I knew.
I'm surprised you didn't teach some of the animals how to dance.
And so then I decided, no, I'm not going to major in dance. I need something more solid as far as an education. But I still wanted to dance on the side.
Right.
And so I was trying to also figure out, okay, dancing on the side, what am I going to major in? And so a few years back, we had remodeled our house, and my mom let me decorate and paint and design my own bedroom that just got remodeled.
So you did the squiggly lines?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I choose the paint colors, the furniture that I think is old.
See, if anybody's watching this on YouTube, I would have flashed a picture of that wall. I don't think I have one. I don't know, but go ahead.
Excuse me. And so, anyway, but then my mom and grandma, I get all my creativity from them. Mm-hmm. They're always redesigning, redoing something, rebuilding something. They're very into construction. Mom's very into decorating, just artsy as well. She's always building props and stuff.
I can definitely see you get a lot of that from them.
And my grandma too, so I'm like, okay, it's in my blood. Mm-hmm. What am I going to do with it? And so I decided to major in interior design. And so at that point, I knew I wanted to go out of state. I was like, I need to get out of Durango. Okay, just need to go live somewhere else, experience somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And most people that grow up here are that way, because otherwise it's just kind of like a black hole. You just get sucked in and then you never leave.
As well as any small town would be.
Yeah. So most everybody's like, okay. Most everybody has to leave after high school, and then a lot of people wind up coming back when they're older. Yeah. They realize how great of a place it is.
It's not always a bad thing when you want to leave.
Like, you don't realize what you have until it's gone.
Yeah, it's not always a bad thing when you want to leave. Sometimes it's just exploring, getting out there, finding yourself, your growth, and experiencing different cultures, areas, places, things, to see what you might be interested in or into that you may not have known you was into before. And then if you want to come back, if you feel more centered where you grew up, then you can. So it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's, like you say, it's just growing. Yeah.
So I knew I wanted to go out of state. And I majored in interior design, but I didn't want to go too far. I wanted to be within a 16-hour radius or whatever from Durango. So if I needed to drive home, I could in a day.
Or something kind of close at least.
Right, and not on the East Coast or something like that. Because the first two top interior design schools were out on the East Coast somewhere.
I'm sure.
So anyway, we looked at the time, so 2010, 2011, at the top 10 schools for interior design in the U.S. And so it happened quite a few of them were Big 12 schools, so Midwest. And so K-State was ranked 3rd in the nation at the time for interior design. Okay. And so I wound up applying to 5-6 different schools and actually went on campus tours at all of them as well. And so I applied to K-State. Arizona State in Phoenix was ranked 5th at the time, and so that was my second choice when it came down to it. I'm so glad I didn't go to Phoenix. Let's see, I also applied to Oklahoma State and OU and toured their campuses. Not a big fan of them either. UT in Austin, they were 10th in the nation. Oh, and I applied to CSU in Fort Collins. That was my backup of backups of backup plans.
Okay. Plan C and D and E, F, G.
So Colorado State was my last resort backup plan because they had interior design too, but it wasn't like an accredited program or anything like that. Okay. Anyway, so decided on K-State not only because they were the 3rd best in the U.S., but I just fell in love with the campus and the town, the school pride. And their colors are purple.
So
can't go wrong with purple. But also the biggest reason why I decided K-State, because like I said, I was wanting to have that major, but I wanted to keep dancing as well on the side. In a lot of schools, one, you have to be an actual dance major to take classes or be a part of their performances.
But you have to be a major already to take classes to...
Like, to be a dance major to be able to take those classes. Like, you can't just take them randomly.
Okay. So what are the classes for if you're already a major?
A dance major. Like, majoring in dance.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah.
So, you have to either be majoring in dance to take those classes or be able to form. And a lot of them don't have TAP. Or they have, like, 1 semester of TAP every 2 years or something like that.
Oh, I see.
And so... before I actually went on my campus visit out to K-State, because I was like, I really don't want to go to Kansas. Like, it's flat, it's ugly, like, no interest whatsoever. But my mom actually happened to find, she was doing some research, happened to find that they had a tap dance ensemble at K-State. And also that you could take dance classes without being a major. And I was like, that's cool. But I still don't want to go to K-State. And she's like, let's just go on a campus visit, check it out. And so I did, and we actually drove most of the campus visits we flew, but we actually drove out to Kansas, Manhattan, Kansas that time. Right. And so driving through eastern Kansas where it's flat and cornfields, I was like, where am I going? I don't want to go here. And then all of a sudden, like, out of nowhere, it turns into rolling hills and tons of trees. Eastern Kansas is just beautiful. Okay, this isn't so bad.
Kansas is pretty chill. Yeah.
And it's actually beautiful, and there's hills I can get on top of and look out. And
yep. I was pleasantly surprised too when I first went out there took that trip out there for the game. Yes. Changed my perception of it. I didn't have a bad perception of it before, but it's just changed my perception of what it was because I never spent time there. Been through it on a bus before. I don't remember that trip. It's kind of hazy, but like I said, it's nice.
But anyway, so I fell in love with K-State. Decided to stay there for 5 years and loved it, and met some of my best lifelong best friends.
Hell yeah!
And a lot of other experiences that I could go on and on about. And so I was able to still dance. I participated in every semester dance show. The dance department always had really creatively called winter dance and spring dance every semester. And being on the tap ensemble, and we would travel all over, basically all over Kansas performing. We would perform in elementary schools or different fundraisers in Kansas City or Wichita areas or any surrounding areas. We did tapagrams, tap dancing telegrams.
Really?
For holidays, yeah.
Nice.
And so Halloween and Valentine's Day were always super packed. Not only trying to go to classes, but we would get all these orders for tapagrams and have to go around in our costumes, or we would have t-shirts and stuff and do in our little portable boards, tap boards.
Wow, was that like tough having to carry those around?
A little bit. I mean, it was basically like ballroom flooring, like dance flooring, the little squares that you just fold up and carry.
Oh, okay.
And we'd always have like technical difficulties with our speakers and the music. Or someone not clarify that someone was going to be in class that day, so we go and say we have a tapogram for this person, and the person's not even in the classroom.
So you would show up at the classrooms too? Okay, so I was thinking it was like you show up at the dorm or show up at a house.
That's true. Anything and everything, but whenever we did have a classroom order, we'd always make sure that the person ordering it made sure that that person was going to be in class. 2, that the professor was okay with it. And 3, that there weren't any tests or anything happening that day, because that has happened numerous times, or that the professors would say no and like kick us out. We wouldn't be able to do it. But for the most part, everybody thought it was awesome.
It does sound pretty cool. I never knew anybody did that before.
So that was fun.
So how long did you stay with the K-State? 5 years, and did you you graduated with the degree in the one you took classes for?
Yeah, so I didn't wind up sticking with interior design like I planned. I did a little over a semester in that, and decided I liked interior design more of a hobby than an actual career, for many, many different reasons.
But the same way with graphic design.
Excuse me, for many reasons, and so I decided to drop interior design. And after a lot of soul searching and praying and discussions with other people, and I finally decided to change to dual majoring to nutrition, human nutrition, and kinesiology, which is like exercise science. And so that in and of itself, since it's 2 degrees combined, is a 5-year program. So I was already like basically a year behind. And so I'm like, okay, I'm a year behind. It's a 5-year program. I don't want to be here for 6 years. And so I wound up making it work. I did about 19 to 20 credit hours a semester, plus summer classes every summer. So I was able to
grinding.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how I did it.
He was motivated. That's what it was.
That's motivated. All my other extracurriculars at the time. I don't know how I did it. I feel so lazy now. But
see, everybody's always wondering how you're so well put together all the time. It's because that's your studies in that has kept you nice. You're gonna be nice for a while too.
Anyway, so I wound up getting it done in 5 years, and along the way I also decided to add and drop some different majors too and minors, and so after a while I was like, okay, I'm just sticking with these 2. I want to graduate in 5 years.
Just going through the whole gamut of interests, trying to find the right one.
I added a 3rd major at one point, because it went together. It was dietetics, and I only needed like 3 extra classes for it to work.
Was you buried in books?
Oh yeah. And but then I wound up getting like a couple C's in a couple classes. I had so much going on.
That's a lot.
But
that's a lot.
Which I was always a straight A student in grade school, so it was very tough on me.
Awkward, like little subtle flex right there. I was a straight A student. That's nothing. I was a few A's
like, for
A's
me to
there.
get C's, it was like
I slipped off one year, had an A-. I was slipping, Go ahead, floss for a minute. I never got straight A's ever. I was a straight B semi-C student.
That's
a couple of A's in art and music.
C is average.
Hate average. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You flunking classes.
Well, I can't say that. Math, a few times. I never failed a grade though. Never failed a grade. I always kept going.
Anyway, so with the dietetics major, you have to have B or better because it's a very competitive field, and so I was like, okay, I'm doing dietetics. I want to retake those classes. Or I added like a gerontology minor at one point, but then I decided not to do it. I don't remember why. So, anyway, so I came out with a bachelor degree in nutrition and one in kinesiology.
There you have it,
in 5 years.
And you got that degree at Western, or was that K-State also before you came out there?
So I got those 2 degrees at K-State, and so I still didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and I didn't know, and I kind of like the more exercise science type side more than nutrition. I mean, I like them both, and so I still couldn't decide what I wanted to do, but I took an environmental exercise physiology class and really enjoyed that, learning how different environments affect the body. And
wow.
so like altitude or humidity or deep sea diving, how all those environments affect the body at rest and then while you're exercising. And see how it changes. But I really enjoyed that. And so I was like, well, maybe I can try getting a master's in something like that. And so there's school, I was looking at schools in like Australia and Europe that have masters in like environmental exercise physiology.
Yeah.
And so that then came down to it. I needed to come back to Colorado. I miss Colorado. I miss the mountains, but also, okay, I had my 5 years away. Now it's time to move back closer to family. My grandparents are getting older. And like, as much as early, because I graduated when I was 23, and I was like, I want to go travel the world. I want to do all this stuff while I can, while I'm young and single, and all this stuff. I'll move to Australia, but also it's like if something happened to my family and I couldn't be there, I would
just devastation.
Devastated. So, decided to move back to Colorado and found out that Western up in Gunnison had a brand new environmental exercise physiology program for high altitude.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's like exactly what I want to do. And so, moved back to Colorado, but not back to Durango. I'm still 4 hours away. Have my independence. And so I was up there and did my master's in 2 years. Graduated in 2016.
Beast mode.
And then after that, I still didn't know what I wanted to do.
And that was around the time when we met. Just when she was finishing up school. Yeah,
3 months left.
Yep.
3, 4 months left.
Yeah, just
in the midst of all my thesis research.
Yeah.
Stressed.
Yeah, just by chance. I don't know. We never really spoke about that. Well, publicly, I couldn't spoke about anything publicly because it's the first time doing a podcast together. Just telling stories within our individual friends and family, just whoever happened to ask, it came up in conversation. But yeah, that question that came up countless times. How do we meet? How did we meet? Because it seems like just two totally different paths out of nowhere just kind of came together, and it worked. And it's been not only just worked, but it just felt like it was made to happen to the point where now we finally live together. And we're planning our marriage all the time.
Yeah, we've talked about that just numerous times. Like if it was not for that one night.
Yes, that almost didn't happen.
Like, yeah, who knows when it happened. Anyway, you can tell that story.
Okay, I'll start from my side of it, and you start from your side. Your side's a little different perspective. I want you to start from like the moment you and your friends went out that night, not from when you saw me. Like I didn't really feel like being out that night. I wasn't really in too much of a happy mood. I was kind of feeling in my feelings about something. I don't even remember.
Well, you just got done with the show too.
Yeah, and something was on my mind I wasn't really too happy about. So I just wanted to go home, get a couple of drinks, and go home. So when I went to Kachivers, super popular bar in Crested Butte, went there, had a couple of drinks, walked around. I seen Abby and her friends walk by. I noticed her, but I didn't really creep on them or anything. I just noticed this really tall, dark-haired, beautiful girl. I'm like, oh, she was fine, but whatever. I'm probably never going to see her again. So I went to my favorite bar in town after that, Talk of the Town. Went over there, had a couple of drinks, and then I see them again over there. Like I don't know if I was going to or from the bathroom, but I just remember seeing them walk by. I just made a quick eye contact. I'm thinking, damn, she is bad. Who is this? I just see, I saw like a dimple in these serious looking eyes, but she was like tall and gorgeous. I'm like, wow, she's beautiful now. Well, I'm trying to say hi to her. So I gotta say hi to her or something. So I'm probably never gonna see her again. She probably got a boyfriend or whatever, as most beautiful girls that come through this town that don't never get seen again. But if I don't see say something, I'm gonna regret it forever. I know I am. So I was on my way out, went to the bar, went to pay my tab, and she was standing right next to me. I didn't even see her friends after that. I think her friends were standing behind her because they were all shorter than she was.
They were like just staring at us.
And I just saw her. I just looked over and said, hi, how you doing? And just struck up a basic, simple, quick conversation, introduced myself. And that's really on my mind. That's all I really wanted to do, just say that. I would have felt much better doing that than not saying anything at all and going home, because I would have been going home wondering what if forever. I'm thinking, okay, well, she probably got married. I might get turned down. That's cool. It's happened a trillion times already this year. Why not get one more rejection out the way? At least I'll be happy knowing that I didn't wonder. I would have felt good after that. And we talked quickly, just a very, very quick, brief conversation. We didn't even talk about much or anything. It was just getting to know you, introduction, really. But I was just looking at her eyes and her smiles, like that had me locked. That sounds kind of cliche, I know, but it's real. It's like that simple, like the run-of-the-mill rom-com story. But that's how I felt at the moment. I'm like, I gotta see her again somehow. I gotta see her again. So, offered my number, gave it to her. Or did I ask you first for your number? I think I offered mine because I didn't want to seem too pushy or whatever. Because I know I still want to look like wrestlers.
I just know I never give my phone number out. Very
so I kind of felt that. And I didn't want to seem like wrestling thirsty dudes in there. So I'm like, okay, I'll give her my number. If she wants to call me, she will. If not, that's fine. As long as I just put the offer out there for just another meet and greet or meet up, whatever. And she accepted it. I'm thinking, okay, I'm leaving the bar. Inside, I'm happy as hell that I did that. I didn't stumble or say something stupid, or she didn't like just give me attitude, which I was expecting, but that didn't happen. That didn't happen at all. And I'm thinking like, well, I know she's probably talking about me to her friends, maybe laughing a little bit. I don't know. At the time, I knew I stood out a lot that night. You know, my hair wasn't braids at the time. I'm just like in there, not really talking to anybody because I wasn't in a sociable mood. But I saw her, all that shit just left. That antisocial shit left. So I'm driving home. I'm happy. I'm driving home, feeling good. Like yeah. And I don't know. You didn't call like right away, or we exchanged.
You texted.
I texted you. Yeah.
You were like, it was nice to meet you. And I was like, where are you? Because I know you left. I didn't
that
know.
Night. Yeah.
I didn't know you actually like left the building. And because I was like, where'd he go? Like, I want to talk some more. And you texted me, and you're like, it's nice meeting you. Hope you have a good night. And I remember texting you back, where are you? And you're like, I'm home. I'm like, dude, like, what? You're home? Like, okay.
Just disappear in the wind.
Scared him off that badly, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I just don't want to seem pushy or coming on too strong or extra just thirsty like Laos guys.
It was good, man.
I was just happy that
I think it made me feel better too. It's like, oh, he's not.
And that's what I was hoping too, because I wasn't really expecting anything that night from anybody or anything.
I wasn't either.
That changed my mood around so much. Like, because I'm usually in a great mood, like almost all the time. Like, kind of happy, go lucky, whatever, chill, positive, almost 98% of the time. I guess that 2% was that night. For whatever was in my head, I don't remember. I kind of care not to think about it because maybe probably wasn't a big deal at all. I was just overthinking a bunch of bullshit. But like ever since then, that night, I was just like, thank you. Like, thank God that you happened to pop up that night. Because if you hadn't popped up that night, we probably wouldn't have never met. So I'd never seen you before until then.
Well,
never seen you out or anything.
Because I had only been out in Crestview one other time, and that was New Year's Eve that year. And I had never been out on TV before.
Yeah, and even that night, if I saw you that night, I wouldn't remember because I was so drunk that night. And there was so many people. Everybody was partying so hard. I was wearing a King of Soul crown that night. I was like really in super party mode. So I probably wouldn't even notice if I did see you that night. And if it did, it probably wouldn't have happened that way. Like, I don't know if I would have introduced myself or not. I don't know what kind of mind frame I was on at the time. I was single, but I just it just wouldn't have went that way. The whole history wouldn't have happened. So I'm just so thankful for that night, that moment. And I saw you twice that night. So I was like, okay, I see you again. This has to mean something. Has to be a reason why I saw you twice. Just kind of float by with your entourage.
Okay, so my side of the story. So me and a few girlfriends decided to go see Black Panther that evening up in CB because it's gonna seem like a comic movie. So we went and saw Black Panther. And so then we had another friend that didn't go to the movie, but she's like, I want to go out tonight. Like, let's all go out. And so I'm like, okay. Me and my friend Elisa had only been out in CB New Year's Eve that year, so like about a month or two before that. I'm like, okay, sure, we'll go out. And so we went to Kachivers first. That was my first time in Kachivers.
Sweatbox.
And so we were with our friends, and my friend Sadie was like, Abby, we need to find you a guy tonight. No, that's okay. Like, I'm not interested in any guys in CB.
You had that look on your face like you wasn't really interested in meeting anybody. You was like,
no,
focused,
but
like,
I've always been that way. I'm like, and also going out, like, and anytime somebody says that, it never works out. Or it's always like these little creepy dudes, or like I went on one blind date in CB like a month before we met, and that was not so good. And so I'm like, okay, I'm giving up. Like, I've been single most of my life. Like, I'm fine. I don't need a man. And so she was asking our one friend that actually lives in CB. She was like, we need to find Abby a man tonight. You know everybody in this town. Who should we hook her up with? I was like, no, it's not necessary.
It was adamant on hooking you up.
And so right then, Khari like walks by, and so I just see like the back of him. I didn't see his face, but I just saw the back of him. And plus, there was a lot of out of towners for some reason.
Yeah, it was
too. And does that guy live here? And our friend was like, yeah, but. You don't want to go out with him. I'm like, why? He's like, he gets like way too into karaoke. That was his only reason. It was that you get way too into karaoke. And I'm in my head, I'm like, what's wrong with that? Like, that's awesome if he does. Like, so many people get too embarrassed, like myself, with karaoke. So anyway, but then you disappeared, and I was just like, whatever. And then we went over to the talk, and same thing. Like, I saw you waiting in the bathroom or something, and I just remember like seeing your smile, and you had nice eyes, and you were tall.
I don't know what I was smiling at. Maybe, I don't know if somebody said something, or I don't know.
Smile, he's tall, and I saw him again. And then, but still didn't think anything of it. Like, go back to playing Jenga or whatever we were doing upstairs. And then we went downstairs to the bar, and that's when you cashed out, and we started talking, and I honestly don't remember any of that conversation.
It was pretty short, very brief.
Also, by that time, I was pretty drunk.
That's another thing. Like, you can handle your liquor a lot better than I've seen. I don't want to just say women, but just people in general. Like, I know this because like you like whiskey like that, same way I do. But times when you say like, "Oh, I'm so drunk," like, really, I couldn't tell. Because you either hide it really well, or you just compose yourself in a way that it's not noticeable.
That's good. But yeah, I was. But I'm not saying that conversation didn't mean anything, right?
No,
I just don't remember it. And so I remember looking over your shoulder, excuse me, and like my friend Maxine and Sadie were behind you, just like staring the whole time. He's actually talking to a guy.
What's happening? Listen.
And so you definitely, you say I stand out in the crowd, you actually sit way out in the crowd. Not only are you tall and handsome, but just you're a total sweetheart, gentleman, and just something about you just drew me to you too, apparently.
Thank you.
Haven't gotten rid of me yet, so.
I was going to say the same thing about you. Like, you can tolerate me, Ned? Tolerate me all this time? It's going to last.
And then I remember they were like, are you going to see him again? And I was like, I don't know. And they're like, where'd he go? And that's about the time you texted me. And I'm like, this guy went home. And they're like, what? Anyway, and then everybody else, I don't remember, but Sadie and I just wound up driving all the way back to Gunny that night. And I remember, well, she was the DD, but I was kind of like smiling the whole night too. And she's like, so are you going to see him again? Are you going to text him? And then a week later is when we went on our ski date.
Was first, right? Yeah. That was fun.
With my friend Khari.
Yep, you need a backup. You need an extra plan.
It wasn't planned. It was not a real plan. It was the last minute.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, not morning or night before, she's like, are you going skiing tomorrow? And we had already made our plans. And I was like, yeah. Like, what time are you going? And I told her, she's like, okay, I'll come and pick you up. And, like, didn't even, like, ask me or anything. She's like, okay, I'll be at your house at this time, and I'll pick you up, and we'll go. And I was like, okay.
I thought she was like your exit strategy plan, just in case it didn't go right or whatever you had.
And it kind of was like, okay, this might work. But then she like picked me up that morning. And I was like, so just to let you know, I'm meeting somebody up there. And she's like, oh, that's okay. She's like, who is it?
Guy.
I'm like, oh, well, I don't have to ski with you. You can pretend like I'm not even there. I'm like, no, I'm like, I don't even know this guy. Like, I mean, I'd much rather ski with you, my friend, than some random dude. dude if it comes down to it.
I'm glad you had your homie there for comfort and moral support. You know.
That was funny. But I didn't tell my roommates or anybody else that we were skiing that day either.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that.
And so when I got home, they're like, "Oh, who'd you go skiing with?" And Khari, somebody, and then this is a guy from the bars. You went skiing with him? And then that following, I think Wednesday. Yeah. And then even like a whole week after is when we went on what I consider our first official date.
Yeah, me too. Because you're our first official date too. The first one was more of like the first was like a meeting. I want to say like I want to say not date, but when we went skiing. I don't know what you would call it. We go with your friends, whatever, or you just meet up for the first time. Yeah.
It's a hangout.
Yeah, that like that. Kind of a first initial
and
date.
And I remember I was like, you guys have to introduce each other because I am going to butcher your names. Khari and Khari.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to introduce you guys. I'm like, I'm going to butcher it.
Yep. You said that. I remember that.
And then we went on our date.
Yeah. Elk Avenue Prime. We had dinner where I was working at the time. And it's funny because at the time, nobody there knew that I had met. Well, a couple people knew that I met somebody, but that was pretty much it. Just mentioning a couple people that I met somebody that I'm going to be bringing her here on a date. And that was it. Because, like I said, it was still brand new. So we sat there, and a couple of the servers were just staring us down the whole time, just grinning.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Khari's on a date. Because at the time I was single for a long time, like a year and a half. So nobody really knew about like my personal life as far as like my dating interests or whatever it goes. Because I kept that quiet a lot for the most part. So that was like a shock to a lot of people.
And you didn't tell anybody that you were going that night.
Well, I mentioned it once or twice, but not like in detail. I just said I'm coming here, bringing a date. I'm thinking about bringing a date here on this day. So that's when we did that. And Dogwood too. Mm-hmm. And then, with the Dogwood afterwards.
Yeah, I just got done doing research. I was meeting with a participant doing my thesis research, and I got home. And I had 30 minutes to get dressed and ready for our date. So I come, and all my roommates are in the living room studying. They're like, "Abby, come study with us." I'm like, "I can't tonight." And so I got changed and like curling my hair, and they all like look and they're like, "Abby's curling her hair. Where are you going?" I'm like, Crescent View. Are you going on a date with that guy from the farm?
Mayor Hawthorne from the group Tuxedo said the best. He said I can ad-lib one of the songs, like, "Tell your friends you're busy." I love that song.
But yeah, they were just like, oh, shocked.
Mm-hmm. And as they say, the rest is history. Because we can go on for another 3 hours about history after that. But we won't because we don't have that kind of time. But you can always ask us. Or you can just check our online history and stuff. Because we document so much. Because we're just happy and proud about what we've been able to accomplish. And the growth that we've had together thus far. And will have in the future. It's been an amazing journey. Very fun-filled and thrilling adventure. Something I feel we've both needed in ways that we may not have thought we did before. As far as like spiritual growth, emotionally, mentally, we've helped out each other in a lot of ways and it just feels really good. It feels right. A lot of times when it's cliche about saying like, well, opposites attract. Yeah, they attract because there's similarities in it that have like a strong connection that just give us that bond. Things that we both love about each other and love about life that we enjoy. And we appreciate so much about it. And without this becoming too mushy for some of y'all to handle, that's all I'm going to give you about that right now because the happiness is just strong. It's just that strong. It's just a beautiful thing. That's why I'm in love with this woman. That's why I wanted to make her my wife. That's why I proposed to her. And she happily accepted, which became happiest day of my life. And it's going to become the second happiest day of my life because happiest day I feel would be dwarfed by our actual wedding day, which will become the happiest day of my life. I want to thank her for that. And there's much more to dive into on a later episode because there will be more episodes featuring this woman. in the future. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode so far. Do you have anything, any final words, put out anything like in your mind as far as like motivation, any tidbits of advice that you feel like you may drop on somebody, or just if you have anything coming up you want to announce, any last words you want to put out, anything on your mind?
I don't know. Let's see. Be yourself. Be true to yourself. Mm-hmm. Follow your instincts, no matter what everybody else is saying. Going through that right now.
Yeah, putting your truest self out there in the world.
True to yourself.
That will attract the people around you that needs to be around you, because those are the ones that see the purity in your heart. Anything coming off as a front or false, it'll put out the energy you put out comes back to you tenfold. So if anything true to yourself comes out, that's what I will come back to you. Same thing with karma. It's a wonderful thing, man. So with that being said, make sure you go ahead and drop a comment, like this, and share this episode as well as the other episodes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. But all the channels, all the episodes, my previous episodes, all 19 are on my YouTube channel. Go to kharimartino.com. It's my website to find all the other previous episodes and other things about infinite inhibition, whether it be the music production, video production. Infiniteinhibition.spreadshirt.com is the online clothing site where you get the merchandise with the Infinite Inhibition's slogans on it, which is recognize your limitless worth, live, love life, and continue to make positive strides towards whatever it is you want to do. I want to thank you guys once again. Thank my wonderful fiance for joining me on this episode.
Thanks for having me.
Beautiful ghost.
We did this in our brand new apartment.
Yes.
Breakfast. And
Wonderful morning.
Yeah.
And I apologize if my voice isn't up to par. I'm getting over a little head cold right now. Still working out some technical difficulties. Only have one mic right now. One of my other mics is broken, but working through that. So anyway, yeah, be on the lookout for new things coming up.
Wedding details.
Oh yes, definitely wedding details. 2021, we're making that happen. 2021 in the fall. Date to be announced. Working on that soon, so yep, keep your ears and eyes open for that. And this is Martino signing off with Miss
Abigail Owen.
Soon to be
Whatever
Abigail Hatton. Yes, sir. Recognize your limitless worth, damn it, Infinite Inhibition Podcast, episode 20. Peace!